We're continuing to look at the relationship, sexual health and parenting education materials being developed by the Scottish Government. This time we're looking at the upper primary age, so 9 upwards, and this is from the lesson about sexuality. Now, in our view, there shouldn't be any lesson about sexuality in primary school. It's just not relevant at that age. Leave it out completely. But let's see what children in Scotland are going to be taught using the government's resources. Right, this is a slide from the beginning of the PowerPoint presentation. Unique. This means one of a kind. Every human being is special and different. We're all unique. You are unique. Right, what this is trying to convey is that whatever's different about you, that's fine. All people are different in lots of ways, and that's a good thing. That's great. In the context of sexuality, that's saying any sexuality is great. So it's opening the kids to the philosophy that heterosexuality, homosexuality, bisexuality, whatever, they're all equal and super to be celebrated. Right, what have we got next? When you like someone, during puberty, you can start to have feelings of attraction to someone. You might fancy other boys and girls. You may even feel like you're in love. Well, they certainly can't be accused of being heteronormative there, aren't they? Again, they're presenting this. You might fancy a boy, you might fancy a girl. You'll just have to wait and see. All equally valid and fine. So it's opening up the expectation of these young people, some like prepubescent young people, to the possibility of homosexuality or heterosexuality in the future. Every human being has what we call sexuality. Sexuality is something we feel, something we do, that exists within ourselves. Sexuality is not the same as having sex. It's a much bigger idea. We're going to imagine that our human sexuality is like a flower with many petals, and each petal will represent a bit of what we call our sexuality. Right, intriguing. So there's the sexuality flower. So what are these petals that make up our sexuality? First of all, our 5 senses: sight, hearing, taste, smell and touch. For example, you can smell your favourite food being cooked, listen to music that you love, hold hands with someone, feel the sunshine on your face. What do you like to see, hear, taste, smell or touch? So that's an aspect of sexuality. I mean, most of that's completely irrelevant to sexuality. There are aspects of touch that are relevant to sexuality, but I think they don't want to actually mention those in the primary school context, so they feel it would be highly inappropriate. So instead they're talking about irrelevant things. Doesn't it make you think, if you don't think they're mature enough to handle the aspects of touch that are involved in sexuality, just leave it out? Anyway, next thing, our feelings. For example, feelings that are positive, like happiness, love, pleasure, trust. And also feelings that can be upsetting or feel negative, like jealousy, anger or sadness. What have you been feeling today? So feelings are a part of sexuality, yes, but the description there, it's mainly irrelevant. It's not getting to the heart of the matter at all. The feelings that are irrelevant are feelings of sexual or romantic attraction to someone. Right, number 3, the third petal, the third aspect of sexuality. Spirituality. Some people say that your spirituality is about the human spirit or human soul. Yes, and some people don't. Like me, for example. I believe it's about a relationship with a transcendent creator being. Anyway, spirituality is about love and respect for all living things. I'd say that's one aspect, but it's not the whole story. It's about how you connect with nature. Well, personally, I disagree with that. That's not the main aspect of my spirituality. But to some people, of a quite sort of new agey perspective, it is. For some people, this means believing in a god or being part of a religion. So how you connect with nature, for some people, this means believing in God or being part of a religion. No, that's a total mischaracterization of the religious beliefs of almost all religious people. How can we as humans love and respect our world and look after it? Well, there's a sort of eco message, but it's got nothing remotely to do with sexuality, and there's no indication how spirituality and sexuality intersect. I mean, it's just not making any sense at all. Right, number 4, our identity. Identity is about how we describe ourselves. Imagine you are meeting a person for the first time. What things would you tell them about you? How would you describe yourself? Well, when people say to me, "Who are you? Tell me about yourself," I always start off by saying, "I'm heterosexual." No, of course I don't. A lot of people, though, they do think that sexuality is a core aspect of their identity, which I think is actually unhealthy. I think that can indicate a loss of perspective on sexuality. But that attitude is being inculcated in young people from primary school. Sexuality and identity, these things are very closely related. I'm not so sure that they are. Right, the 5th aspect of our sexuality, how we feel about how we look. This is called self-image. When we think about self-image, we should think about what size we are, what shape we are, and how we feel about our bodies. We should try to have a good picture of ourselves and our bodies. This is called positive self-image. But for me, sometimes I get too fat. So I don't try and have a good picture of being too fat. I try and get thinner again. What do you love about how you look and your body? What do you love about yourself? Sounds a touch narcissistic to me. All right, number 6. Our relationships with other people. You can have all sorts of human relationships. You can be part of a family, part of your class at school, part of a friendship group. Adults can live independently, with housemates, with a partner, or in a marriage. What are the important people in your life? Yeah, so that's a bit of general chat about relationships, but it doesn't remotely get to the heart of what sexuality is. Sexuality is an element of our psyche that involves a particular type of, you might call it romantic or sexual attraction to other people, enabling a special form of relationship to be formed. That's what sexuality is about, or what it should be about. It can also involve hedonistic activities divorced from a relationship, which tend to have negative consequences. So this lesson about sexuality shouldn't exist, and it is just a total muddle and doesn't make sense. And just bear in mind, this has been approved by Education Scotland, the NHS in Scotland, the local council's organisation, lots of charities, etc. Anyway, do subscribe to see our other videos on this topic, and there'll be some more in the link at the end here. Thanks for watching.